Hey guys, welcome back. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 88. Today, we're going to be laying down the law and absolutely punishing some stuff with some Fort Scott Munitions T.U.I. 300 grain 4570 ammunition. This is a turned copper solid. Yeah, buddy, we are going to be launching some pills and taking out some stuff. It's going to be a fun day. Let's get after it. We're going to shoot a variety of different targets, pop some ballistics gel. Let's see what this thing can do. All right, we're going to do a baseline ballistics gel testing with the 300 grain T.U.I. from Fort Scott here, 4570. Yeah, buddy. We've got 4 layers of clothing because, you know, the FBI, they don't shoot at just anybody. The FBI, when they come up with their specs, they think about like a bum in New York, you know. I don't know what they're thinking, but anyway, we got 4 layers of clothing: denim, fleece, flannel, and a t-shirt. Okay? And then 2 10% FBI blocks from Clear Ballistics. I think it's safe to say that this is going to be another lesson in reasons to stay away from a 4570 on the receiving end. Here we go. All right, we got a new block up front. This should look pretty good. Hopefully it'll catch it. Woo, buddy. Good center shot. Let's see if the projectile tumbled, and maybe we caught it. Okay, there's nothing surprising about this shot at all, other than the visceral transfer of energy that we see. It is absolutely crazy. Obviously penetrated our shirt and all this mess here. Went into the first block, entered straight line penetration, began to tumble as it got into this area, and you can see it just lifted these blocks up off the table like crazy and created this just crazy temporary cavity in this area between the, you know, the couple of blocks here. The permanent cavities that are in there are pretty decent. We also see that another pretty nasty looking permanent cavity formed here as it exited the second block. Now, if I would have had a third block back there, I might have been able to catch it, but I don't think it was moving very fast when it exited the second block. Actually, didn't bring my tape measure over, but I guess these are 2 16-inch blocks. So you're talking, that's what, if my math is right, that's 32 inches worth of penetration. Minimum 32 inches of penetration. So that means that this projectile and this loading will probably kill any creature you want to kill. Black bear, you know, deer, big hogs. You know, I'm not going to venture out on a limb and say that I'm, you know, some type of like professional elk or moose hunter, because I'm not. I don't hunt animals that big. I know they're very large animals, but I would imagine pretty much anything on the North American continent is going to fall to this cartridge. Pretty interesting result. It kind of is what I expected, and it's kind of not, but that projectile did tumble, and it did yaw, and it did create some really interesting wounding characteristics there. So that's a really interesting test. Let's move on to some other cool stuff with the 4570, because when you break out big bore, you got to have fun, right? So let's get after some other stuff. All right, guys, always a good day when you get to lob some big pills through stuff. We've got a couple of sheets of drywall, and we've got a layer of insulation backed up with a couple of watermelons, some sodas. So it's sort of a redneck ballistic medium, but let's get through there and see what happens. I think it's clear to say that this projectile is going to get through and do its job. 300 grain T.U.I. 4570 out of a Marlin guide gun. You know, just in case a, I don't know, dinosaur shows up, we'll be ready to go here. All right. Well, I heard it hit a tree down there, so I know it made it all the way through everything that we see in front of us. Safe to say that if you've got a wall, 4570 is probably going through. We knew that though. We just wanted to do this because of reasons. All right, guys, safe to say that if you shoot a 4570 through a wall, it's probably going through the wall, through anything behind it, probably the other wall, and no telling what else. Maybe even the tree outside. I mean, we heard it hit a tree downrange. So anyway, you know, when you have a lot of mass and it's moving relatively fast, you start to get a really interesting equation going on for energy. Okay, so that 300 grain bullet coming out of this barrel is definitely generating some energy. I think we're gonna have to have a lot more medium to be able to see the tumbling impact or the tumbling effect of the projectile. So let's move on. That was interesting, but always a good excuse to slam some stuff with a 4570. Let's do it. Next, on reasons not to stand in front of a 4570, we have 8 Baffle boards with watermelon and some sodas back there just to see what happens. I think it's clear to say, based on some previous experiments, it's gonna go all the way through, but you know what? Why not? 300 grain, copper, solid. What's the worst that could happen? Here we go. 300 grain T.U.I, Marlin guide gun. All right, what happened? We'll see. Crazy, crazy, crazy result that we got out of that 4570. So straight line penetration through all the boards. I sort of expected that. I mean, 4570 pretty much does whatever it wants. But the more interesting thing is that when the projectile hit the watermelon, it punched through, and the exit on the watermelon had the shape of a yawed bullet. And I was thinking, okay, well, did this thing yaw? Did it tumble? Did it do what it was supposed to do? Turns out it did. It folded one of the sodas completely up. And if you look at the entry on the plastic, it's the perfect shape of that projectile, right through it sideways. So that means that our soda, the last thing in line, was penetrated sideways by the tumbling projectile. That I can't think of a more definitive result than that in terms of wanting to see what the tumbling effect can do. And it absolutely folded that soda bottle right in, and it exited really nasty too. So I think we're getting onto something pretty cool stuff. All right, this is going to be a lot of fun. 300 grain 4570 T.U.I against a bunch of Torman's Giant's milk. That's what we've got here. Well, so let's give it a try. It's going to make a mess. Everyone's standing way back, which means that I'm entirely too close, but we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. Ooh, yeah. Let's take a closer look. Well, got through some jugs of milk there with that 4570. I kind of figured that was going to be the case. Punched through 6 jugs. Went into jug number 6, what looks to be a rather oblong hole. Veered down into my table, out the bottom of the table, hit the ground, and downrange. You know, liquid does some really crazy things. Milk is a colloid. It's really strange the way it behaves. We like to shoot milk for that reason. That's an interesting experiment. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. We always have a lot of fun on this channel testing various types of ammunition and different platforms. We really enjoy it. Thank you so much for the support. Those of you who purchase man cans, if you purchase merchandise over on the website, if you support us on Patreon, all of those funds go right back into supporting our channel and allowing us to put this stuff together. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.